Alright, this is our Unit 5 test review. You can take a look at all 5 learning targets for the entire Unit 5. And we'll go through a couple problems for most of them. Some of them we'll just have time for one problem. But please pause this video and review and practice other problems that are similar to the ones to follow. Our first learning target, I can divide multi-digit whole numbers by a 1-digit and a 2-digit whole numbers in cases with and without remainders. So here we have a 1-digit divisor by a 4-digit dividend. So this is 3,535 divided by 7. And here we have a 2-digit dividend by a 2-digit divisor, so 74 divided by 13. Let's start with our 1-digit divisor. I like for the students to underline the digits, so can 7 go into 3? It cannot. 35, 7 can go into there 5 times, and 5 times 35, 35. So you have a 0. You bring down the next digit, which is a 3, and we bring that down and it's still less than 7. 7 cannot go into 3, so then we bring up a 0, because 7 goes into 3 0 times. Then bring down the next digit, which is another 5, and that's 35. So 7 times 5 will get us to our answer of 505. Now we move over here to this one. 13 obviously cannot go into 7. It goes into 74. 13 times 2 I know is 26. And 26 times 2 is 54. 52, one of those. Let's see, 26. Yeah, so let's try 13 times 4. And we sometimes overestimate, so the kids will have to get used to doing multiplication on the side and sometimes having to readjust. 4, 5, 52. Can I get another 13? I think I can. I'm going to add that 13. I just added one more 13, so that's the 5th. 3 and 2 is 5. 65. So 13 times 5 is 65. Subtract. Can't do that. We have 9. So our answer here would be 5 remainder 9. And this is with and without remainders. Alright, just getting warmed up here. Let's keep going on our second learning target. Make sure you practice some more like this. Interpretation of the remainders here and thinking about what the remainder means to the context of the problem. So we use a strategy called the cubes strategy, and it helps us do these word problems. Circle the numbers, underline the question, box in any math action words, evaluate what step should I take next, that's what the E stands for. Then the S is solve. So let's do that as we read. There are 124 students in 5th grade going to the Science Center. Each bus holds 30 students. How many buses will they need? So if we have 124 students and each bus holds 30, we need to see how many buses we will need. So how many 30s go into 124? And 30 times 4, I know 3 times 4 is 12, and I add a 0, so 3 times 4 is 12. Then I add my 0, I get 4, remainder 4. Now we have to interpret this. I don't know if we could call a bus garage and say we need 4 buses, remainder 4. What does that remainder mean? That's how many students are left. So if you have 4 buses and 4 students left over, they're on the curb side on the street. So you need to round your answer up, your answer would be 5 buses. So we interpreted the remainder there. I can describe shift patterns that occur when a number is divided by powers of 10 that are expressed with and without exponents. This kind of gives some kids a hard time. Looking at this first one, 2 3/10 divided by 1/10. When this is obviously the first number is your dividend, we studied that. Second number is the divisor. You're trying to figure out how many 1/10ths go into 2 3/10. So if we relate this back to something we already did, we know that we can rewrite that decimal as a fraction. And that really looks like this because we take the reciprocal, make that multiplication, and that's really what we're doing. We're really multiplying. So what students need to do back at step 1, they don't need to show all their work. They can think it through maybe on the side, but thinking of way the digits shift. When dividing by 1/10, the digits are shifting to the left once. And we're seeing how many 1/10ths go into 2 3/10. So if you do that, the answer would then be 23. So this number actually gets 10 times greater when dividing by 1/10 because there's 23 1/10ths that will go into 2 3/10. Now if we look over here, we have 2 3/10 divided by 10 to the first power, so that just means 1 of 10. So that means that we're dividing 2 3/10 into 10 whole groups. So that 2 3/10 is actually going to get smaller, so it would become 23 hundredths. So the digits here shifted to the right once. Practice some more problems like this. Students will have to do 2 3/10 with the second power, third power. So try some more problems like that. They'll also have to do this to the thousandths place. And they're really just seeing how numbers shift. So try some more like this here and see how your students are doing. Number 4, I can divide whole numbers and decimals by decimals to the hundredths. Here we have a whole number divisor, so we don't have to shift any decimals here. Here we have a decimal, we just take it on the elevator ride up and plot it into our answer. It's the same process as whole number by whole number. So can 6 go into 4? No. 6 can go into 43 7 times, and that's 42. Bring down our 2. 6 can go into 12 twice. Nice and easy, 7 2/10. Now this one here, the kids keep forgetting. When this number on the outside, sometimes kids think of this as a house, the bracket. The inside number is the dividend. The number on the front line is the divisor. This divisor needs to change to a whole number. It can never be a decimal. So we have to move that decimal once. And whatever we do to the divisor, we must do to the dividend equally. So now our decimal is way here, and that is a large decimal, but you get the idea. 6 can go into 13 twice. Then we're doing regular long division. 6 can go into 12 twice. 0. So our answer there is 22, and there's our decimal. You can put a 0 behind it if it makes you feel better, but it does not change the value of the number. Alright, so we have a classic area problem here when we're giving the area. It's being 29 and 76 hundredths meters squared, and also given the length, which is 6.2 or 6 2/10 meters squared, or just meters, that's just the length, not squared. And then we're looking for the width. To find this, we want to divide the area by the length, because usually to find area you do the width times the length, or the length times the width, and that would give you A, or area. So since we're given the area, we need to do the inverse operation to multiplication, which is division. So we're going to divide 29 and 76 hundredths by 6 2/10. I'll squeeze that in there. Move that decimal once. So we have our decimal up here in our quotient. 62 can go into 297 4 times. 62 times 4, we get 248. Subtract, we get 49. Bring down our 6. 496, 62 can go into 496 8 times. 62, just check our math, 62 times 8, 6 times 8, 49, 6 times 8 is 48, plus 1 is 49. And that gives us our answer, and that's going to be in meters, 4 and 8 tenths.